So main purpose, we need to leave a will to make sure the debts are paid. And number two is making sure how your inheritance is distributed. Yes, you need a will because Islamic reason you want your children, give them advice, how you expect them to live after you. You know, you need them to carry on the Islamic legacy, Islamic tradition. This is one of the spiritual, purposes of the Islamic will, which is very important. You will read in the Quran, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, Prophet Yaqub, when they are dying, they are making this wasiyah to their progeny, that they need to keep up this legacy, this faith and the tradition and live accordingly. And another thing is, important thing matter is, you may have done so many things, but the best thing now, after you die, of course, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you die, everything is cut off from you except the three things. Number one, ilmun yundafa'u bihi. If you have worked to disseminate proper Islam, beneficial knowledge. It doesn't have to be purely Quranic knowledge, it can be medicine, it can be beneficial knowledge. Because Islam doesn't divide secular and religious. Everything beneficial. Beneficial knowledge, if you have passed it on, is going to be a sadaqah for you, ongoing charity. Dividend you will receive in your grave. Number one, you are passing on their shares. Up to 1/3 you can set aside for charity, endowments. As far as compassion and care for humanity, for the animals and the living, was Islamic civilization. All of this because of the endowment system in that Islam set up, and Western people through the crusades they interacted with the Muslims and passed what this excellent institutions, and they developed it further. Muslims today left it all because we spend more our own comforts than setting aside for our akhirah. Okay, so wasiyah is, how do you do it? First of all, don't wait until you are in your deathbed, when you don't know what you are saying. You have to be a person in full possession of your senses. In fiqh it is called mukallaf, taklif. Taklif is when you are sane, not when you have become insane. It happens, na'udhu billah. People became insane or demented, and dementia is creeping into our society now. So don't wait too long. Make this kind of course you can keep changing it, updating it as the situation changes. So we need a lot of students to excel in social sciences, all kinds of sciences, we need experts. So how do the poor student go for? Who have excellent grades, set up a scholarship fund. But all of this has to be coming, should not exceed more than 1/3, especially if you have children or those who are heirs, varatha. But so it's obligatory in cases when you have debts unpaid. Inheritance in Islam is only distributed after your debts are paid and after your funeral expenses. Then of course the laws of inheritance, after the 1/3 of charity or endowment you made, or less than that, better to write it down. If you have children, to write it down, because anything that in your mind cannot be accepted even in Islam as a wasiyah unless it is witnessed. It can be an oral statement witnessed, or it can be a written statement. Some scholars say if it is written statement you don't need to witness it, but the Quranic way is to witness it, get it witnessed by two reliable sane people who are trustworthy. The purpose is clear, paying the debts and taking care of the obligations, and number two is making sure that the law, your inheritance is distributed according to the Islamic laws, because otherwise the law of the land will be implemented. Which
First question is, can the will be updated once written?
Yes, it can be updated as long as you are still sane, in full possession of your senses. You can, according to the Hanafi school, and that applies to other schools as well if you study it, you cannot ask a fatwa from India Mufti who never lived here for an issue that affects Muslims here. Because that man doesn't know the custom and conventions here, habits here, so he will be giving a fatwa which will destroy the whole soul of the Sharia, spirit of the Sharia. So don't ask a Mufti from Saudi Arabia or Middle East. Somebody who have lived here and knows the situation here should be the only person qualified to ask a fatwa on such matters. Okay, so
what do we do with the bank account money? Do we need to write each and everything in the will?
You have to especially mention, state clearly, so that your children, whoever you are leaving behind, they know the details of your account, so that bank will, of course, the lawyer can, help you with that, inshallah. And always make sure that whatever wasiyah you have made, I already mentioned it, it should be done in consultation with the qualified Islamic scholar. Bills can be updated. Even in legal system here, it can be updated.
Related to life insurance.
Yes.
Is there something that is Islamic? Is there something as a community we can create? Because I think the will is one aspect, but there is, it leaves sometimes some families with very little. And instead of being in a position where you're depending on others, or it's easier if there is an insurance that would, especially if it's taking care of a mortgage or something like that.
Okay, insurance is a very thorny issue. The standard reply answer from the Mufti, standard Mufti, is no, 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 no. Haram, 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 haram. As one scholar said, he's a tabi, it's easy to say haram, 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 haram. You don't need knowledge for that. You understand? You need knowledge to find a way, if there is any way of making something easy, relaxed a little bit. So in this spirit, some scholars have given the fatwa, like Mustafa Zarqa, one of the top jurists. He gave the fatwa, you don't need to condemn life insurance, especially in a system like ours here, because we don't have any alternative, except some people start life insurance or whatever Islamic way, but they bang on halal to make money for themselves. So there is no halal life insurance here practiced. So the system here is life insurance, sometimes you are obliged to enroll in it. So in this case, what you would do? I know when you die, your children will be getting that life insurance. Can they make use of all of it? I would say they shouldn't make use of all of it. They should make it tatheer, purification. Because the Islamic method in jurisprudence is, when you have income mixed with haram, you don't need to throw it in the sea. Destroying wealth is haram, isn't it? You can take it, but purify it. Give extra charities and make a lot of istighfar and make use of it. Okay, so I'm going to write an article about it. You can access it, inshallah, on askthescholar.com. Please go in his site, because the more people go there and pass it on, inshallah, we can help, inshallah, disseminate beneficial Islamic knowledge. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me if I have said something wrong. It's from shaitan. Okay? May Allah forgive me. If we have said anything right, it is a pure gift and blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is that okay?